All right, we are so excited to get this show started for you today. You're going to meet some new friends and some incredible artists like my friend here, NICOLE BANOWETZ, and we're going to learn a little bit more about her in a little bit. But you're also going to learn about the festival's contribution to the Cherry Creek community, as well as we're going to give you some tips on how to navigate the Cherry Creek Arts Festival so that you have the very best experience possible. So my guest with me here, NICOLE BANOWETZ, is a nationally renowned inflatable sculpture artist. 7 of her large-scale inflatables will be visible throughout the festival site this year. NICOLE partnered with Cherry Arts, which is the organization behind the Cherry Creek Arts Festival, to offer the first ever art camp, where students got the chance to create their own inflatable art pieces and sculptures that will be on display at the festival. I've got 2 other guests with me, so I'd like to introduce you to them. On the end here, I've got Shayna Belton. She is the Cherry Arts Education Director. Welcome. And then artist NICOLE BANOWETZ. And then finally next to me, I have art camp participant Ethan Briones. Thank you so much for being here today. All right, well, Shayna, I'm going to start with you. For those festival goers who have never come down to the festival before, tell us a little bit about what they can expect.
Sure. So the festival is next weekend. It's July 5, 6, and 7. We'll have 265 juried visual artists at the festival. We have performing artists, sponsors, other cultural partners, and then, of course, the art camp inflatable, as well as a bunch of NICOLE's inflatables across the site. There's family-friendly activities on Artivity Avenue, and we have art experiences that can happen at the Janice Henderson Investors Art Experience.
Oh, that sounds fun. Tell us a little bit more about those art experiences.
Yeah, absolutely. So the tent itself, the Janice Henderson Investors Art Experience tent has, they're going to have paper making, tin types, photography workshops, journal making, they'll have screen printing, and beyond. There will be tons and tons of opportunities for people to come and actually make art, so there really is art for everyone on site.
All right, NICOLE, this is an incredibly large and pretty impressive inflatable art sculpture. Tell us about the process in creating something like this.
So generally when I work on inflatable sculptures, I start by researching, figuring out what subject matter. After that I make drawings, and then usually kind of small models out of ceramics. And then I make patterns, so each piece of fabric has a paper pattern that corresponds to it, so I draft all of those, and then cut the fabric and sew it all together.
You're being engulfed and hugged by our friend
yes,
here today,
I am.
so a little bit of a win, but that's all right. What's your inspiration for pieces like this?
So generally my work is inspired by nature, so I do a lot of research into like different scientific discoveries, interesting like microscopic creatures, lots of plant life, and I use all of that to find the forms that I create.
I love that. And so then what is it about inflatable art that really speaks to you as an artist?
So I think inflatables are great because they're really accessible for everyone. Everyone's had an experience with a jumping castle or with like the wacky waving guy, and so because of that I think everyone will be able to interact with the inflatable and not be intimidated with it the way they might with other artworks.
Very fun and something really different. Shayna, NICOLE worked with students at the art camp to create their own inflatable sculpture art pieces. Tell us a little bit about that art camp.
Yeah, so Ethan was here with us. He was one of the 10 lucky students who were able to participate in art camp. It's the first time we've ever done it. So they were able to actually go to the Denver Art Museum and see NICOLE's work and be inspired. They learned how to build, design, sew, measure, cut, and create these large-scale installations. So they actually, all of the art camp participants created this work behind us. And it was a really rare opportunity for young artists to work with a professional artist and learn all the skills needed to create large-scale installations like this.
Ethan, as Shayna said, you got to participate in the art camp this year. What was your experience like?
My experience in the art camp was amazing, and I think that I learned a lot from Shayna and NICOLE mostly on how to express my imagination and creativity throughout my art experience.
Isn't that fun? How did you hear about the art camp?
So, to be honest, my mom introduced me to this camp, and so I thought it was a good idea to actually go to an art camp to learn more and how to create art like this.
Isn't that great that that exists for young budding artists like yourself? Did you always know that you were going to be an artist or that you had that in you?
No, I did not.
Coming to you now though, right?
Yeah.
All right, so what inspired the inflatable that you and fellow art students created?
I think what inspired us students is mostly NICOLE on how she got inspired by nature, and so as us, I think we really liked how the Venus flytrap lured their prey into digesting it, and so And we all had experience in looking up to the skies and see the stars.
Yeah.
So I think that's what mostly inspired us.
That's great. And as Nicole said, a lot of it's nature-driven and inspired by nature, which we've got this right here. All right, Nicole, what is the experience like then working with students at the art camp?
It's really exciting because you have 10 different students and they all have different ideas. They're all really excited, and it's really fun to watch them all propose their ideas to each other and kind of come to this collaborative idea, because you have all these very different ideas, and they were really great at working together and compromising and making a really amazing work.
Shayna, we mentioned that Nicole's going to have several of the large inflatable sculptures on site at the festival, but where can they go to see those and some of the art camp student?
So a majority of them will be on Fillmore, so right where our performing arts stage is on site, and then others will be hidden throughout the site for you to explore and find, but the art camp piece that you see behind you will be on Fillmore as well. Then they'll be able to read a story about the work and everything. So
okay. And where can viewers learn more about Nicole and the art camp itself?
Yeah, so you can learn more on cherryarts.org or on NicoleBanowetz.com. So either website, Instagram, Facebook, there's tons of pictures. There's lots of information online.
Impressive, all of you, and thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Well, the Cherry Creek Arts Festival takes place July 5th, 6th, and 7th on the streets of Cherry Creek North. Come on site to see these large-scale inflatable sculptures by Nicole Banowetz and the art camp students. For more information about art experiences at the Cherry Creek Arts Festival and an event map, visit cherryarts.org.